Hello guys, see you again. I'm Miss Honey. Today we're gonna learn about the organizational behavior, chapter 11, organization culture. Guys, what is organizational culture means? Organization cultures mean a system of shared values, norms, and assumptions that guide members' attitudes and behavior. Okay guys, let's imagine the organization culture is like an iceberg. Okay, these parts of the iceberg that we can see above the surface that is called artifact. These are the visible part of the cultures like a dress code, company logo, office layouts, and how people communicate. But underneath the water, there's a much bigger part that we can't see, yet it's just as important. This is include exposed value, enacted values, and basic assumptions. Exposed values is like what the company say it's belief. It is like a missions, uh, core value, and enacted value. What people actually do in practice. Basic assumptions is like the deep beliefs that are taken for granted and guide behavior without people even thinking about them. Okay, let me explain to you guys more detail about this four level. Okay guys, like I said before, artifact is what we can see and feel it in the organization. There are external indicators of the company culture but do not necessarily indicate its true value. Next, expose value. This is what the company say they believe in. We can see it's often seen in the mission statement, vision statement, and the official policies. Enacted value. Enacted value is the values and norms that the employees exhibit based on their observations of what actually goes in the organization. This is what actually happens in the reality. For example, I give you even the company say that they value the openness. Employees are afraid to speak up for fear of retaliation. This shows that whether the organizations walk the talk or not. Assumption. What is assumption? Assumption is those organizational values that they have become so taken for granted over time that they have become the core of the company culture. This is a core value that is so deeply rooted that it goes unquestioned. For example, I give you the belief that successful is only come from the hard work, which has become an automatic culture. It is difficult to detect but greatly influences organizational behavior. What happens when an organization have a conflicting values? First, employees get confused and lose trust. For example, the company say its value openness, but when employees speak up, they get scolded. Second, poor communications. When staff do not know what the real value are, they avoid expressing opinions and giving the feedback. Okay, first, it's drive employee behavior. Culture shape how people behave, communicate with each other, and make decisions. A positive culture encourages collaborations, trust, and innovation. Second, impact performance. Teams in a strong culture are usually more productive and motivated. Third, boost engagement and retention. Employees are more likely to stay in the company where they feel valued, respected, and aligned with the culture. And the last one is reflect with company identity. Okay, what is conflict culture? Conflict culture is a refer to the shared norm and behavior within an organization about how conflict is managed. Every organization handles conflicts differently. Okay, guys, types of conflict management norms. Okay, we have two. For the first one is active conflict management norms. In this type of the culture, conflicts are addressing openly and directly. Employees are encouraged to speak up and work through disagreement rather than hide them. This often leads to faster solutions and improvement understanding. Passive conflict management norms. People tend to avoid dealing with the conflict. Issue may be ignored and suppressed in the hope they will disappear. This can lead to unsolved tensions and long-term damage that team dynamic. Agreeable and disagreeable conflict norms. Agreeable conflict management norms is a conflict are handled in the cooperative, respectful, and constructive manner. The focus on the mutual understandings, compromise, are maintaining the relationship. Why the disagreeable conflict management norm is a conflict that approach in the competitive and aggressive way. The goal is often to win rather than to resolve, which can lead to tension and divisions among team members. Culture of inclusions. Okay, majority members respect minority contributions. What is that? Okay, people from majority groups generalize value the input and presence of minority members, the different races, religions, gender. That is the example. And second is active support for diversity. The organization does not just accept the diversity, it is actively supports and promotes in hiring, decision making, and leadership. The first one is scope of intranet. How wide is the coverage of information and service? Second, openness to employee feedback. Are employees encouraged to give input or idea? Third is frequency updates. How often is content refreshed or revised? Building and maintaining culture with a remote employee. What is that? The first one is enable and embrace virtual work. Facilitate regular video calls, virtual meetings, and clear communications. Use collaboration tools to support teamwork and visibility. Ensure remote workers are supported. Provide proper mentorships and coachings even from the distance. Help remote employees feel connected to the companies and their co-workers. Build a sense of belonging and engagement through ongoing communication and recognition. But what is organization socialization? Organization socialization is the process by which new employees learn about the company cultures, values, and expected behavior, adapt to the social and professional norms of the organizations, eventually pass that knowledge to the other new employees. Okay, that's all for today. Bye!